Thanks very much for being with me, Matt, and for spending a couple of minutes here on behalf of Tide. I appreciate it. Just want to start with a couple of football questions. I know you guys are getting set to go to London to face the Jets. From a 30,000-foot view, I mean, what's the most exciting part about sharing the game internationally?
It's awesome. I was lucky enough to play there in 2014 and played at Wembley Stadium. And so this time we're playing at Tottenham, I'm excited to see it, watching Premier League soccer. I've seen the stadium before, so, excited to, go and play in it. But it's just unique, you get to see, how much, the fans in the UK are into it. And it's kind of a different game. It's not like you've got one fan base or another. It's more of a, celebration of the NFL in general. So you see all kinds of jerseys, different stuff like that. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's a good change up throughout the year.
Are you a big Premier League fan?
I mean, not huge, but Saturday mornings, just as kind of background TV with the kids running around, it's fun to have that on. They love soccer, and so we like to watch a little bit, on Saturday mornings.
Where's the point of emphasis coming off last week's loss, mistakes plaguing you guys down the stretch?
Well, I think it's about, consistency for 4 quarters. Throughout, the first 4 games, there's been some good and, and some not so good. And I really think that, if we can put it together, for 4 quarters and finish games when we get our chances, this young group that we have could be pretty good. And if we can keep ourselves, in the mix, find a way to get a win this weekend, and keep ourselves in the mix moving forward, I really think there's a chance for this team to grow and to get better because we've got so many young players, and that keeps it exciting for me. I'm optimistic about where we can go.
How do you navigate that challenge personally? I mean, you're the leader of this team as the quarterback, but when you throw for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions, you mentioned that there's, a lot of young players on this roster. How do you kind of compartmentalize your personal performance with making sure that you're leading this team in the direction that you ultimately want to go?
I think, ultimately you want to do your job really well. And that's the message to the guys. I think if we all do our individual role and what we're asked to do really well, that's going to be a positive for the team. But at the end of the day, you got to get the job done. And, if there's another play to be made or another, situation we could have handled better or whatever, we've got to find a way to do that now. And that's certainly, what I'm, stressing to our guys and stressing to myself too, that we've got to start making those plays now.
We've seen quarterbacks move around the league a lot, and some have had success in other locations. And you've remained very loyal to the Falcons and have said publicly that, that's not something that's ever crossed your mind. You lead so many statistical categories. You're the 10th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 300 passing touchdowns. I mean, your personal performance has been so impressive. Why have you remained so loyal to the Falcons organization?
I from the top down, I mean, Arthur Blank has been unbelievable to me, my entire career. And I'm thankful, that I was drafted here. You don't really have a say in it during that draft process, and you could end up anywhere. And I ended up in a building, which is a great place to be a part of. And it's a good place to live. My family and I, we like it here. It's home for us. And I just feel like we've got the right group of guys that we can win. And I just believe that, and I want to do it here, and, I'm hoping that we can get the job done here.
How much do those personal accomplishments mean to you?
I'm certainly proud of what I've accomplished, up until this point in my career. But, winning is what motivates me and what drives me. And, that's been disappointing a little bit the last, couple of years. And so hopefully, we're moving in the right direction. I know it hasn't been the start we wanted, but I really feel like there's been good signs of it. And, I'm excited about, this team learning how to do it and being pretty good moving forward.
There's a roughing the passer call that went viral from your game last week against you. When stuff like that friends and say, hey, might have gotten away with one there? Or do you just take them when they come, take the calls when they come?
Listen, you take them when you can get them, because there's ones that are missed too, right? And so, it happens. That's part of it, officiating and, part of the game. But I'm always going to tell you that they were roughing. Whenever we get the calls, I'm always going to tell you that they were.
How confident do you feel in your team's ability to put the past couple of weeks behind you, to fix some of the things that need to be fixed, and to continue to grow through the growing pains of having, some young talent on the roster that needs improvement?
I'm very confident. I see the way the guys work, day in and day out, and what they're about. I really think that if we continue to chip away at it and work the way that we have, the results are going to come. And this is part, one of the hardest part of professional sports is when your process is good and you're doing things the right way, but you're not necessarily getting the result that you want. I think if you continue to hammer away at it and do it that way, eventually the results start to pile up. And so we got to stick to it. And that's going to be, the key for us to improving is keeping the right mindset and sticking to it.
And when you have some inexperienced players and mistakes start to mount up, I mean, is that part of the challenge of dealing with younger guys that need more in-game experience, helping them to stop the bleeding before things get out of hand, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think one of the things you learn with experience is that, you don't want one mistake to turn into two, right? If you're going to make mistakes as the game goes on, there's going to be a tough play or something like that, or, a ball you drop or a pass that, you overthrow. But if you let that mistake turn into another, you're hurting the team. And so I think we can all do a better job of that, understand there's going to be mistakes throughout the game, but not letting them compound. And if we can, eliminate some of that, I think that's going to help us.
I know you're here on behalf of Tide. So what can you tell us about this partnership that you have with this company?
Yeah, I was excited to team up with them this summer. And so, the campaign with Tide is to get people to turn to cold water washing. Which is good, for the environment, uses less energy, good for our wallets, saves people money, which is awesome. And, but my nickname is Matty Ice, and they had a spot running with Ice-T and Stone Cold, and the NFL was partnering up with them. So I was a good fit, and was lucky enough to shoot a commercial with those two guys this summer and get to know them a little bit. Really enjoyed that. It was a highlight, one of the highlights of my summer. But I'm excited to partner up with them. They're doing this for a great cause, and I encourage everybody, who's listening and watching to try out cold water washing. It's just as good with Tide, and save you a little bit of money.
Environment sustainability, I know, is a really hot topic right now, and there have been a number of notable figures who have jumped on this movement, and like you said, with good reason. I mean, there's really no downside to taking care of where we live and our planet. Are you interested in continuing this partnership, moving forward, maybe expanding this as something that you're passionate about?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you can make changes that are reasonable, right, like that are doable, that can make a significant impact, you should do them. And so, to me, this one's a no-brainer. It's an easy way to switch. It's an easy way to reduce emissions, and there's really no downside. So I encourage everybody to get on board.
So you do the majority of the laundry in the family, is what you're saying?
No. My wife I do a little bit, but I would not say the majority. My wife, we've got twin boys that are 3.5. So our washing machines are constantly running. And, if we can save a little bit of money here and reduce a little bit of what we're putting out there, it's a good thing.
Matt, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the way with this season and beyond.
You got it. I appreciate it.